You're listening to the official Wrestling News Source podcast. For all of your information, go to WrestlingNewsSource.com or find us on Facebook by searching WrestlingNewsSource.com or WNS Podcast. You can also find us on YouTube, Twitter, Stitcher, and iTunes by searching Wrestling News Source Podcast or WNS Podcast. Now, being broadcast in over 30 different countries, here are your hosts, Daniel Herron, Tyler Hebert, and Doug.
That's right. What's up, everyone? I am Daniel Herron.
Tyler Hebert.
I'm Doug.
And we welcome you to episode 141 of the official podcast for WrestlingNewsSource.com. For all of your information, go to WrestlingNewsSource.com. Check us out on Facebook, WrestlingNewsSource.com. You can find us on Facebook, WNS Podcast, on YouTube, WNS Video, and on iTunes, Wrestling News Source Podcast.
We are on Twitter at WNS Podcast, and for the main site, WN Source.
We're also on Stitcher, the WNS Podcast.
There you go. So welcome to the show. Got a lot to talk about, obviously. Raw, Night of Champions, Total Divas, some hot topics for you, all kinds of fun stuff. But first, we're going to start with some feedback that we actually have for this week. It's always nice to hear back from some of our listeners. This one's going to be an iTunes review coming from, I think this is Viperous Planet. Would that be how you say it, Tyler?
Yeah,
Viperous. Okay, saying every time I listen to a wrestling podcast, I make sure it's this one. So thank you.
Nice.
We certainly do appreciate that. It's always nice if you're subscribed to us on iTunes. Make sure to leave us a review, and we'll make sure to say hi to you. Our next one's coming from Cody from our Facebook page saying, hey guys, I thought I'd give you my first feedback on Facebook. I've been a listener since the beginning. You guys always get funnier and funnier, even when you made fun of me. Even when you made fun of the way I said Doug's name back in 2011. And as soon
Pepsi fan 24.
It's Pepsi fan 24. As soon as he said, made fun of the way he said Doug, I immediately went back to cousin Doug.
Wow, that's awesome.
So yeah,
It's nice to know he's still around. That's
still around
cool.
and still keeping up. So just keep it up. P.S. The Total Diva segment is the funniest thing I've heard on the show in a long time.
Cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so we certainly do appreciate that. We do also have a YouTube comment from The King Trig with 2 G's, Trigg, saying, just wanted to say thank you for doing this. I can't believe I just found you recently. So, hey, better late than never, right?
Thanks, King Trig.
Yeah,
thanks to all you guys. It's very sweet.
Yeah.
We do appreciate that you listen. We do not take your time for granted, and honestly, we do appreciate it.
Yeah,
thank you.
That's very nice. And, for anyone who's, listened to us and, we might not know you on a more personal basis like we do our regular guys like Lawson and Red Robin and them and Tasty Bobby, drop us a line. Let us know that you're listening. We certainly would appreciate it. Can't forget about Wife Swap and Rhino, all those guys. Where's Raven Effect been lately?
I don't know.
So many people. So...
I think he was just after my gamer tag.
So yeah.
We became friends on Xbox, and haven't been on in I don't know, like a year or something. But
I'll be lucky if my account's still active. I haven't been on Xbox Live in, probably close to 2 years.
He probably stole it. He probably has my name.
He's like, well, he's not using it, so. But yeah, so there you go. Like I said, drop us a line. Let us know you're listening. If you're listening from outside of the United States, definitely let us know where from, and we'll see if it's on our map of places that we're listening to, because we like seeing new faces. So certainly do appreciate it. So how you guys doing? Tyler, you good?
Yeah, I'm all right.
Got you away.
Pizza.
Yeah, full from pizza. Got you away. We're gonna have some Grand Theft Auto 5 time later.
In a few
later
days.
in the week.
In a few days.
It's gonna be all kinds of fun. Doug, are you getting Grand Theft Auto 5?
I am not.
No.
If they port it to next gen, I will probably pick it up then.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I am busy playing the games I've got.
Nice. Yeah, I was kind of on the fence as far as should I wait for next gen console or should I go ahead and get it now? Decided to go ahead and get it now. And they said if you get it for the Xbox 360, you have to have 8 gigs of storage, which my hard drive is 20 gig. I don't have that kind of storage. So I looked at the price that they had for a used hard drive, and it was like $20. So I was like, give me that. So I got 60 extra gigs. So I'm good to go.
I'm not sure of the specifics of, excuse me, how it works, but I heard some things about for people who aren't going to be early adopters and getting the new systems right off the bat, they're having some kind of upgrade system to where you can purchase a game, say Grand Theft Auto 5 now for your 360 or your PS3, and they have some kind of upgrade program where you, when you eventually get a next gen, you can upgrade to a copy or a next gen copy for like an extra $10 or something like that instead of rebuying, I guess.
Well, that's a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
If that goes through, that'd be pretty nice. I would feel bad because I'm probably going to be switching over to the PlayStation 4, but from 360. But bless you, Tyler.
Sorry, excuse me.
No, that's cool. But yeah, so if you're listening, you're getting not Xbox, but Grand Theft Auto. Let us know about it so we can get gamer tags passed around or something like that. We'll have a game night with the podcast crew or something. Tyler went with the PlayStation 3. I went with the Xbox 360. So there's a way for you to play with us. Play with us. Yeah.
Now.
Online. Yeah. So kicking off the show, going to talk about Night of Champions that happened this past weekend. We had the kickoff match that had the tag team turmoil. Primetime players ended up getting the victory on this one. I liked the concept of it. Have two.
They showed it on the big screen again. Showed it on the feed again, or
yes,
yeah, they did.
Yeah. Where they start with two tag teams in the ring. One team gets eliminated, next one comes out. Last team standing wins. I felt it was a bit predictable because they had face versus heel. Heel team gets eliminated. New heel team comes in, defeats the face team, and then it was a little predictable. You're kind of just like, okay, there's three face teams and two heel teams, so one of these guys are going to have to go, and sure enough, that's exactly how it played out. But, for what it was, I felt it was an enjoyable match. Like I said, I like the concept of doing it. I'd like to see more, especially since, they're starting to have more tag teams, in the division, I guess. But the primetime players were victorious in that one, and they were definitely over with the crowd.
Yeah. The crowd was definitely.
The crowd was hot. They were having a good time, and so they became the number one contenders for the tag team championships.
Before that, they had the panel.
Yeah,
Which I thought was a good panel.
Alex Riley, Booker T, and Santino Marella.
Yeah, it was funny to see Santino still in his character, still talking like. His character, but also being serious and giving points at the same time. So,
did you know that the Usos are actually twin brothers?
Before he started making it funny, he was serious and giving points. So it was actually kind of weird, a little bit to me.
Yeah, and it's funny because I've heard an interview where he's not in character, and you wouldn't know that it was him.
Yeah,
you're just like, this sounds nothing like him. But so he's that true to character. It's really funny.
And even though I made fun of this guy, he did Alex Riley. I kept on making fun of him the whole time. I was like, he's getting a paycheck. That sounds bad, but he was actually. I thought he was making good points. And he was doing good.
So not too bad of a pre-show.
Even though every time I see him randomly on TV, I always kind of make fun of him. Like, what was he doing there?
So we've kind of, we've had a few months of them. I think they started it at WrestleMania. We've had a few pay-per-views now where they do the pre-show. They've sort of gotten their formula down where, like, during the pay-per-view, they'll go back up to the panel and get their thoughts, and they'll go back into the next match. I kind of wanted to get your guys' thoughts on, do you like the pre-show panel, this idea of what they've done, showing I definitely like that they're showing the pre-show match on pay-per-view on your TV, instead of having to download the app or watch it on YouTube.
Well, it's better. I do like it, but it's also weird at the same time seeing certain heels there out of character explain a situation of a match.
Right.
It throws me off just a little bit, but I enjoy it.
Okay.
Like all the panel. So.
How about you, Doug?
Well, I get the point of it is there. Or at least I felt the point of it is to try to hearken to maybe like a sports thing, like an NFL like roundtable or an NBA where they kind of have like past players or current players who are off, or maybe they're not in the playoffs or something like that. Come and commentate or give analysis.
Yeah.
And I'm not a sports guy, so that doesn't really carry a lot of weight with me. But I certainly don't mind it. I don't think that it's been used to great effect or anything close, but it doesn't really bother me.
Okay. So not too bad, I guess. It is a weird feeling seeing some of the people sort of out of their character, just sort of being like, no, you gotta, this is how you gotta approach this match and do that. I'm like, I like that you're getting that sort of insight, but it's also you're like, well, you're not really in your character of being this vicious bad guy.
Earth 2. That's Earth 2. People.
Earth 2?
The Earth 1.
Earth 2 and Earth 1 setting.
Earth 1, yeah.
Okay. All right. So there you go. So we kick off Night of Champions, the pay-per-view itself, with Triple H coming out and cutting a 15-minute promo with Paul Heyman. I understand the concept of what they were doing. The internet was lashing out saying, well, not all the titles are being defended. Curtis Axel's not putting his Intercontinental Championship on the line. And they used it in order to cause that to happen, as well as, Paul Heyman's last ditch effort to get out of his matchup. But I felt like it went on for way too long. I didn't really enjoy it. I was sitting there thinking, we're just watching Raw. It is what it is, we're just watching a commercial-free Raw. But yeah, so Triple H decides to put Curtis Axel into a match with the first person he sees.
That's good that they put him in a match because Night Champion.
Yeah.
Everyone should defend their stuff. And I was correct in I'll bet it's Kofi.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't.
Kofi just happened to be walking by and he said, hey, go have a match. Okay.
Well, no,
good thing they had time to set up this pyro.
I don't know. I wasn't really into that match.
Yeah.
But, I kind of felt like I thought Kofi was going to take the title of all the stuff that was going on.
Yeah, I think that would have been an interesting way to do it, just have that last gasp of, Curtis isn't going to come through for Paul Heyman, and he's like, oh my goodness, my night is over. But they also made it seem like, okay, well, maybe he can pull his own and everything will be okay when he got the victory.
That's good.
So, but then you also have to think, well, maybe he's going to be, he'll be tired from his matchup, and it's just, I don't know, too much thinking is what it was. I forgot when you came in, Doug. Did you come in during this matchup?
I came in in the midst of this match. I don't know how far along it was.
Okay, so but yeah, the match it was fine. It was it was an opening match. I didn't find it to be too exciting. I felt like there were a lot of miscommunications in this pay-per-view. A lot of just awkward looks at one another. Just those half-second glances.
Like when?
Kofi's had a habit of doing that, where he tries to jump on the guy and land his legs on the top two turnbuckles or on top of the top ropes, and he can't do it anymore. He gets one leg and then he gets the other one up.
He's never been able to do it.
Yeah, it's just
Was he? I thought he did when he first came in. When he first started.
When he first started, whenever he was in ECW, yeah, he could do it because he was young, he was fresh, and he could get that vertical. But I guess time has taken its toll where he can't do it as much.
He's never hit the move cleanly.
I think he's done it a couple of times, but I know definitely here in the last year or two he hasn't.
Well, I don't know. Are you going to make a case for a guy over hitting a signature spot cleanly a couple of times? That's not necessarily an argument to make for a guy, I guess.
No, but what I'm saying is there were a lot of miscommunications, especially in the Divas matchup. That it's just, I don't know. Some of it felt a little sloppy, but it wasn't to the point where I'm sitting there in agony. It was just sort of I was like, oh man, they could have cleaned that up a little bit. But other than that, I felt like the pay-per-view itself was okay. But yeah, so Curtis Axel did end up getting the victory and secured his Intercontinental Championship match, which takes us into the next match, the Divas Fatal 4-Way between Natalya, Brie, Naomi, and AJ. And like I said, I felt like this one, there was some miscommunications. but I felt like the match was all right. They did the Natalya, double sharpshooter with Brie and Naomi.
They kind of, when you talk about miscommunications, I don't know, they're okay. JBL and Cole said about, because when they were about to do that, they were both on top of each other.
Yeah.
And their shoulders were both.
That's a pin. That's a pin.
The ref just stand there. So
yeah.
It was just most likely a mess up. He didn't really, I guess, pay attention.
He knew that the spot was coming, and so he was like, okay, well, I'm not going to do
let
this.
It pass, even though they're making a big deal about it.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about JBL and Michael Cole calling that out. While yes, a lot of people would call that out regardless. They were like, hey, she's on top of her. Her shoulders are down. That's a pin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But
it's a conflict of interest to call attention to something that's not going like according to plan.
Yeah, like I would think so.
Like I feel like you're undercutting your own. I feel like the commentary these days, it's just like they kind of like they almost feels like they're there to poke holes in what anybody's doing.
Yeah.
And I don't really feel like that's the job of a commentator, like the commentating team.
Yeah.
I feel like they should be helping to improve the product. I feel like they should be helping to, get angles over, to get wrestlers over.
Yeah.
Not trying to, cut the knees out from everything that's happening anytime. I don't know.
Anytime you say, this match is ridiculous, this is stupid.
Yeah.
Go to commercial.
Yeah. There's like a broad spectrum of like, shitty job that they do from what you're speaking about right now, where they just flat out shit on a match and bury a match or bury an angle, or just little things like that where they're calling attention. Like it feels like you're more like classic announcers. If they noticed and if they were to bring it up, they did it in a way. I felt like Jim Ross, if he would to bring something like that, he tried to cover it. Like
he would have said something like,
it,
"That's the referee's discretion." He didn't feel that Brie was attempting a pin.
I don't know. I just feel like better announcing teams, they try to add and they try to spin the flaws, and it feels like these guys just kind of shit on everything.
Oh, he got caught up in the moment, or I don't know.
Anything. I don't know. There's this like whole weird like postmodern like almost like wrestling thing happening where the announcers kind of shit on everything, and the angles are like, well, playing with your preconceived notions about the actual participants behind the stage, and it's all this like weird super meta thing where they're like more than wrestling, but like I don't know how to really put into words what I want to say, but it's like, it's kind of like where they want to have their cake and eat it too, where it's like, we want to talk about how it quote unquote, like real things are happening and have a story as well. We want you to buy into our story, but we also want you to we want you to suspend disbelief for our story while having us try to wink and nudge the realness at you as well. And I don't know that you can necessarily have it both ways.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm in this weird like headspace.
I think, going off of what you said, I think that's one of the reasons why I have trouble like wanting to follow Total Divas, because it's, these are characters that they're playing, but the show is like, oh, well,
also characters that they're playing.
Well, in a sense, yes, but whenever you've got the Funkadactyls come out, is she Naomi or is she Trinity?
She's Naomi.
Well, but you know what I mean. It's like,
I can see that, but
it's interesting.
I could see an argument to be made for that. I think it's the only thing that I would say to that is they go through. I wouldn't say they put a lot of labor into it, but they make it very clear on Total Divas.
This is Earth 2.
These are. And even though they're still playing characters on a TV show, much like all reality TV shows, they make it clear on Total Divas that, hey, this is my quote-unquote real personality, and this is my quote-unquote really what happens to me, and that is what I do on TV. Yeah. They make it very clear. But on Raw, they want you to buy. They want to give you. They want to have their cake and eat it too. They want to have this is what's happening on stage, and also nudge, wink.
Yeah.
This is also what's happening backstage, right? Even though that's kind of a work too, but they're like playing on people's expectations. And I don't know that those two things can like coincide.
There are too many lives for me to follow.
No, I mean, seriously, there's like this weird trend in pro wrestling where it's like they want to like, it's like way too metatextual and like way, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. There's like this weird, it's like a real change. And I don't mean that they're pushing like guys that people on the internet like. I mean like a genuine change in how they structure their show and how they just get their storylines across, and the way they do business is like changing in like a very real way, not a storyline way, where it's just like, and I don't know how I feel about it. I'm in this like weird headspace right now where I feel like I'm kind of I'm trying. I've heard like good points made about people who comment on the product and people who, I don't know. I'm in this weird headspace where I'm trying to figure out how I want to continue to comment on pro wrestling, because I think it's changed in a way that I can't necessarily view it the same way that I've always viewed it. And I'm trying to find some like footing, and I've heard some really good points that I agree with. I've heard some things that have really stuck with me, and I'm kind of trying to wrap my mind around what that means to me in my own headspace and how that applies to the product that I'm watching and how I'm going to come to terms with that and comment on the product itself. So I don't know. I'm in this weird headspace where I came in today feeling like, I don't really feel like I have a whole lot to say about anything that's going on, because I don't think like the two hands have like shaken in my head to where these new ideas that I'm trying to explore with the product and how I feel about them have come together in a way that I feel like I have a basis to go on and how I want to like comment on this stuff. So it's weird. I think some weird things are happening, and I think guys like myself, like I don't think that we can cling to conventional wrestling knowledge anymore. I think the quote unquote conventional wisdom of pro wrestling is kind of out the window at this point. And I think a lot of people who comment and rate and review and either professionally or just like we do, where we just kind of self-impose this on ourselves, where we're like, we comment on the business because that's what we decided to do one day.
Right.
I think we all kind of have to reevaluate some things. And I think it's kind of an interesting time. I don't know. It's weird.
Tyler?
How can I follow that?
I'm not trying to be like...
No, I understand.
I'm not trying to be pretentious. I think there are some like really weird things happening right now.
I agree with you. Just like the certain things, like what they're doing with like the reality stuff mixing with the storyline, and I don't know. It is weird to me. I see this stuff, and it's like, I don't know what to say about it. Let's watch it.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's even more than that. I think like I heard a quote that really stuck with me about people talking about other commenters, whether it's professional or just guys like us who just feel like they want to comment on things, is that people should evaluate what they're seeing on what the art itself is trying to accomplish, not your preconceived notions of what the art should try to accomplish or what you want the art to accomplish. You have to judge it on what they are trying to do themselves.
I don't know what they are trying to accomplish, to be honest with you.
But I think generally the point that what I'm trying to take away from the point is, like, me personally, I can't just say, okay, conventional wisdom wise, that doesn't make sense to how historically pro wrestling has always been, so it's automatically bad because the business is changing in like a really weird way. And maybe we don't have it all figured out yet, but I think we all have to kind of take a step back and see like a new way to look at this stuff, Like, I don't know.
We will figure it out.
I mean, I don't know. This probably sounds like super pretentious, but I swear, like, I feel like I can't, like, I don't think we can continue to judge it on what we think it should be or what we want it to be. We have to judge it for what it is. I think some problems I have specifically that kind of go along with this is this like face heel alignments. I think this is just how pro wrestling is now, and it's something I'm trying to come to terms with in my own head and how I feel about. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I just feel like I have to reevaluate all this stuff, and it's kind of weird. So I feel like I have a whole bunch of stuff to say.
You got a journey ahead of you,
and nothing all at the same time.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It'll be interesting to see where the evolution of this wrestling business goes, but yeah, it'll be quite a sight to behold, I'm sure. But back to the match. AJ was victorious in getting the victory after applying the Black Widow on Natalya, which I felt was a good logical ending because she's not going to outpower you, but maybe she can be a little bit quicker than you and get you to submit. And so sure enough, that's what happened. So AJ defeats Natalya, Brie, and Naomi to retain her Divas Championship. The next matchup, we got to see Rob Van Dam going up against Alberto Del Rio. And I know a lot of people were expecting Ricardo Rodriguez to possibly turn on Rob Van Dam, saying, it was all a ploy to, sucker him in.
I felt like, to me, I don't know why, like I've always, the matches they've been having, I wasn't interested in it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's just because of Rob Van Dam, but I was into this match more than I thought I would be.
Okay.
And I get the mic in front of me. I don't know what it was, to be honest with you. I just they put on a good show, I thought, and I don't know about the ending.
Yeah,
that will continue it, but
yeah, the ending came via disqualification after Alberto Del Rio put the arm submission on. And refused to let go after Rob Van Dam hit the ropes.
Don't get me wrong, I know Rob Van Dam hit all his usual stuff that we've seen before, but who doesn't?
Yeah.
So
seen it once and seen it 1,000 times.
But they did the what's it called, the near fall. It was a lot of all that stuff, but they looked like they really did. They put on a show.
Yeah, and the fans were happy that Rob Van Dam won the match, but of course with disqualification, the champion retains his title, so Del Rio is still the champion. Doug, what did you think about this matchup?
It was okay, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily feel like I have anything to say about the match itself.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. Like I said, I'm in this weird headspace where I'm trying to evaluate in my own head how I want to try to comment on characters in pro wrestling and storylines. So I don't know. I feel like I don't have anything. Almost nothing to say about this pay-per-view except for maybe the main event.
Okay, cool. But
and just one little thing I'm going to point out, because I thought maybe there was going to be a swerve or something, because Ricardo by the end
grabbed the chair,
then and you saw his arm. His arm was almost out of the sling.
Yeah,
and it was not bent how it's supposed to be. It's kind of almost straight down like that, and it's just I was like, he's gonna swerve. And it's because you could see it.
Well, Del Rio was the one who grabbed the chair. He was gonna try and hit Rob Van Dam, and Ricardo was the one who took it from him. And so Cole put it over, saying, "Oh, he's using his injured arm to try and save his new friend." So that's one way that they could positively call something out like that. But I
guess they want more of this. So.
I guess we are going to see more Rob Van Dam versus Alberto Del Rio because RVD got the upper hand, and I was kind of sitting there thinking, I was like, I wonder if Sandow's going to take an opportunity at this to cash in, because they certainly kept the camera on Del Rio for quite a long time after Rob Van Dam was done, but he just ended up posing, and then they fade to black. So, Alberto Del Rio is still your world heavyweight champion. Next matchup, got to see Miz going up against Fandango.
I think I was in the bathroom or somewhere else.
Yeah, you were gone for a majority of this match, and you didn't really miss much. I felt that it was interesting that Miz worked the leg for a little bit, and they seemed like, Fandango was upset about that because they were playing up, oh, that's that's his dancing. He's known for dancing, and Miz is attacking his legs. So, other than that, I felt like this matchup was kind of passable. How about you, Doug?
Yeah, it was fun.
Okay. But Miz ends up getting the victory over Fandango. Next up, we got to see Paul Heyman and Curtis Axel going up against CM Punk. And earlier in the night, it was announced that it was going to be a no disqualification match. So whenever Punk came out, he had a kendo stick with him. And instead of shouting, "It's clobbering time," he said, "It's time to die." So certainly going out for vengeance, out for blood. The matchup between he and Curtis Axel was fine. Curtis Axel puts on an okay match.
Punk went for Heyman pretty early.
He went for him, yeah, quite a few times, and Paul Heyman just kind of sat on the outside. But CM Punk, after being resilient, a couple of the kendo stick shots and all that, did he throw Curtis into the chair, or was it the other way around? And then I think, no, it was Curtis who got thrown into the chair. Then he tumbled out, because I remember he was just staring up at the camera. And I was like, well, close your eyes, dude. Act like you're hurt. But he was kind of just like, But yeah, I thought the matchup was okay. He ends up defeating Curtis Axel, which made Paul Heyman have to get in the ring after, he was being chased by CM Punk around the arena. Gets back in, and, Punk finally gets his hands on Paul Heyman. He starts whacking him with the kendo stick, and gets ready, is wanting to put him through a table after handcuffing him. But lo and behold, Paul Heyman gets some help from Ryback, who drove him through a table. Pulled him over into
Ryback did pass out.
I don't know. It certainly looked like he did. Maybe he just hit his head and was dazed or something. But he didn't move for a few seconds, and it looked like the ref kind of tapped him, and it was like, hey man, you all right? But yeah, so Ryback pulls CM Punk over, puts Paul Heyman on top of him. 1, 2, 3. Paul Heyman defeats CM Punk. Doug, what did you think about this matchup?
The match was fun, I guess. It was kind of cool to see Ryback as the new Heyman accomplice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anyone felt that Curtis Axel was working out.
Yeah.
So I guess it's kind of cool to mix it up.
Yeah. So give Paul Heyman a few guys. Yeah.
So,
while Lesnar's out. Yeah, that'd be good. Because I saw some comments where people were saying, "Oh, Lesnar's going to come and help, and Lesnar's going to be there." But Ryback's just as fine. He's a big guy. He needs a mouthpiece, obviously, and what better man to have than Paul Heyman? So not too bad. Next up, we got to see Dean Ambrose going up against Dolph Ziggler for the U.S. title. I felt this match was okay. Dean Ambrose put on a good show. Dolph Ziggler, I didn't feel like he was up to par in this one. He did okay, but I felt like Dean Ambrose kind of carried him a little bit. But what did you think, Tyler?
I'm trying to remember.
Yeah. That's one of the hardest things. Is always,
I don't know. I do enjoy Dean Ambrose, but I don't remember, stuff about Ziggler. I don't know.
Okay. Anything from you, Doug? Just waiting for that main event?
Yeah, I honestly don't have that much to say.
Okay. But yeah, so...
and that's weird. I know I usually kind of talk a lot, and I kind of filibuster, and...
well, we'll leave that for Raw for you, because I was unable to see it.
I don't know that I have that much to say about Raw either.
Well, then we'll just run through that.
Yeah, we'll see.
But yeah, so Dean Ambrose was victorious. Next up, we got to see Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins going up against the Primetime Players, and I felt like this match was really good. The crowd was definitely behind the Primetime Players. They showed, a lot of good back and forth. They showed a lot of good chemistry, these two teams. And, they like to hype up that no matter what the odds are, the Shield can find a way to make the numbers roll in their favor. And, that was the case where, you have the traditional, the guys who aren't tagged in find a way to get in the ring, and then they spill to the outside. But, Seth Rollins and Titus O'Neil were the two left in the ring, and Roman Reigns was the first to get back in the ring and speared Titus O'Neil while the ref was looking at Darren Young, giving Rollins and Reigns the victory. So what did you think about this matchup, Tyler?
I enjoyed it. I like the I enjoyed the primetime players. I just like the Titus coming in here and just like dominating and stuff. Darren did good too.
Mm-hmm.
But I liked what was it, Seth Rollins was in there and just like when he like kind of like clotheslined him and he went flying. But he takes those bumps. So.
Yeah, he does a good job at selling the bumps, and like I said, the crowd definitely behind the primetime players. Doing the dances, barking with Titus and all that.
I still love Reigns' spear.
Yeah, you can't look past
it's not a running hug.
Yeah, I mean these guys are putting on some very decent matches, some very good matches. They're they're doing a good job in that mid card. So I'm definitely, I want to see more from the primetime players. I hope they stick around in the spotlight for the tag team titles, at least for the future. But that takes us into the championship matchup, the WWE Championship, Daniel Bryan versus Randy Orton. It had been announced earlier in the night that there would be no outside interference, no hoopla, no Big Show, no Shield, no anybody, just two men and a referee. And, matchup I thought was pretty good. They had, a ref bump where Scott Armstrong went to the outside. He came back in. That played a little bit later in the night. But, Doug, we'll let you talk about this matchup.
I really, honestly, I don't have a ton to say. I just felt like it was like a really well-worked match. Mostly what I thought about it is, it was well worked, but it felt like the crowd didn't buy into the finish because I felt like everyone was just kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Yeah.
And
it happened, and the fact that the count was so fast, it was kind of like, that's it? Oh, yes.
Yeah, I think it. I'm not sure they're registered with anyone. I felt like everyone was just kind of waiting for whatever they thought was going to happen next.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anyone thought Bryan would win there. And I think I don't think they can do this again. Like after the cash in and after this, like they can't
keep on doing it.
They can't do that. It's like too hopeless for the story. Yeah. So I guess maybe it's better that they strip the title, I guess, on Raw because it's like I don't know. It's like a weird thing. They
also made it during the night during the pay-per-view when Randy Orton came in there and talked to Triple H. It was like, why, no Big Show or no Shield and all that stuff. And he's like, well, I just want to make sure I picked the right guy. And from what I've seen on Raw, he didn't give him back the title, whatever.
No, he didn't.
So it was taken.
I guess he's still iffy on Orton too. I don't know.
I just think I don't know. It's like it was like technically a good match, and I don't mean like it was a good technical match. I just mean like on a technicality. I mean like technically like from a standpoint.
They put on a good match.
They worked a good match.
Yeah.
It wasn't crazy awesome. It wasn't amazing, but it was a good match.
Mm-hmm.
It was a strong match. There was no emotion, I felt like, from the crowd because I don't think anyone expected him to win.
Yeah.
I felt like maybe everyone thought it was just kind of a hopeless thing. And even when he did win, no one could react like favorably because they just felt like they're just kind of waiting for whatever happens next.
Yeah, they're waiting for Triple H to come out and say, no, restart the match, or no, you're not going to win, no, blah, blah, blah.
Which I did read something that said that they specifically told the announce team not to mention the fast count on the feed, which they didn't, and because they were hoping that it would translate to a lot more people tuning into Raw to find out what happened, which
surprised it didn't do the fast count.
Well, it was stuff. Yeah, I mean, it was executed well in the fact that it was a blatant fast count that nobody missed, but it was not acknowledged from a storyline on screen perspective.
Right.
So it was weird. I mean, it was well executed. I mean, I just think it's like totally made it feel totally hopeless, and I don't think they can do that kind of bait and switch on Bryan again. Like I think it would take a lot of the wind out of the sails to pull something near that again.
It's like 2 title reigns totaling 22 hours and 46 seconds or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird, but yeah, I don't know.
And does this damage any future reigns for Bryan? Like if he wins the title again and he holds it for say 5 months, will that damage it in any way?
I don't feel so because he beat Cena clean as a whistle. I mean,
he's clearly the top guy right now. He and Randy Orton and Triple H, like that's the main story that they're telling. Which, do
you mean does it lessen the impact when he finally gets it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's a fair point. I think that remains to be seen. I surely hope not. I feel like he has a skill set to overcome something like that. But you always, when you're holding out for like delayed gratification, there's always that chance that it doesn't pay off this,
And the fans kind of get weary of it.
They kind of move on,
Yeah. It's like, all right, next thing.
I mean, are the crowds still foaming at the mouth for like Ziggler to do something? They're kind of like, hey, and I'm not as big of a Ziggler fan as most, but they didn't answer the crowd when the crowd wanted it. So will the crowd care when they decide to do something with Ziggler as much? Will it be that same response that who knows? I mean, likely it won't be. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know.
Has the, the lightning strike, cooled down on Ziggler, and will it happen to Daniel Bryan?
I think it undoubtedly has. I don't think that you could argue that it hasn't.
Yeah. So, but Tyler, what did you think about Daniel Bryan versus Randy Orton?
I thought it was really good, and like we all said that no one was suspecting that he was going to win.
Yeah.
We wanted to. Wanted him to win, but it was like I kind of figured I knew what was going to happen. I didn't.
Well, I think it's kind of like, I think we could liken this to an Undertaker WrestleMania match. You can acknowledge that an Undertaker WrestleMania match is a great match and well worked, but there's no drama there. Like, you don't buy into it. There's no emotion attached to it. And I feel like maybe that's unfair. I certainly felt that way about the past few, but I felt kind of emotionally attached to the first Shawn Undertaker match. So maybe that's unfair, but I felt like at least the past 2 years there was no emotional investment in a Undertaker match. I feel like there's no drama there, so you can acknowledge that it's a great match, but you can't buy in,
Yeah.
And I felt like people were like, "Hey, that was a good match that Bryan and Orton had," but I wasn't invested in it.
Right. Like I want Bryan to win, but expecting Orton to win.
Well, it's more so than expecting. It's like it's almost like a foregone conclusion in your head that he's not winning. So you can say, "Oh, that was a great match," but I don't think he's going to. I know this is not going to pan out.
Right. So, let us know what you think about the pay-per-view itself in the comment sections. And that leads us into Raw. We start off with Daniel Bryan coming out, getting a huge ovation from the fans. Triple H comes out to ruin the ceremony, and like I said, I didn't get to see Raw. I'm going based on what I've read. That they showed a video package showing Scott Armstrong's counts, previous, and then the one that he did at Night of Champions, and how there's a difference. And Scott Armstrong said, "Oh, I made a mistake. I guess my head wasn't where it was at from when I took the bump." And then he looked over at Daniel Bryan, and so Triple H took it as, "Oh, they're conspiring." That Daniel Bryan had set this elaborate plan to get the ref to buy into it. But Bryan basically saying, "Oh, I had nothing to do with it." And Triple H wants to strip him of the title, where Randy Orton comes out. He says, "Give me the title." Says no, gets an RKO. Triple H takes the title.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much how it went. I think it's safe to assume that most thought something was coming along these lines. I liked that he at least refused to be bullied around.
Yeah.
I don't know. Bear, did you see it?
I saw a clip. I didn't watch it at the time. I saw a clip of that. I
guess like What I was gonna ask is what you guys
just see the
thought.
video.
I was gonna ask what you guys thought about the side plates for Bryan.
I like them.
I couldn't really tell.
I couldn't tell. I saw something.
There was a maroon
red
thing around it with the yeses, but I'm not sure what shape it was.
Yes, 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 and then the arms going up.
Oh, okay.
So.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't see a close up, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Looked pretty classy. I don't know.
Yeah.
I liked it.
I like the red. It was pretty good. But yeah, there was a backstage segment where Triple H and Stephanie tell Randy Orton, we want the old vicious Randy Orton back, you know, the one who handcuffed Triple H and gave Stephanie a DDT, and you know, we want that Orton back because right now we don't think you deserve to be the face of WWE. And that takes us into the first matchup, Dolph Ziggler rematch against Dean Ambrose, not for the title though. Dolph Ziggler gets the victory, kind of ends a losing streak he's had here lately. You know, I guess to make up for the loss at Night of Champions. How was the match itself?
I mean, it felt fun.
Yeah.
Oh, like again, I'll say again, I'm like in a weird funk where I'm kind of reevaluating.
Okay. So we'll kind of just go through the results of the matches, and we'll talk about some of the segments.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I have a little bit to say about some of the bigger storyline beats, but I don't know. I don't have like a tremendous amount to say about anything really.
Okay. So Dolph Ziggler ends up defeating Dean Ambrose. Next up was Fandango defeating R-Truth because of a dance contest that happened on Friday Night SmackDown. But next up, I know Doug's definitely going to want to talk about this. Dusty Rhodes, American Dream, baby. Coming out, talking to Stephanie McMahon.
I saw the video for that.
And, you know, Doug, I'll let you take it away on that one.
Yeah, it was great to see Dusty. I love Dusty. He's one of my all-time favorites. Yeah, so I can never be mad when he's on my television. I feel weird. Like, I don't know. I don't understand the whole. I understand from a storyline perspective, from a character motivation perspective, how Triple H and Stephanie McMahon can say, hey, we don't believe that this guy is what's best for business, and we're going to do what we need to do to put a top guy in that we feel is best for business. Mm-hmm. What I don't understand is how they benefit from bullying like Big Show around, how they benefit from firing Cody Rhodes. And I know that it's so that they can appear to be, it's so they get them over as bad guys, as something to be overcome. But I don't understand from a character motivation point, like why they would feel the need to fire Cody, or even if they fired Cody to put up the front of we're not to be questioned, like he questioned us, so we can't be perceived as weak. So we need to make an example of him. How do they further benefit from going out there and being, well, Dusty, you can get one of your kids' jobs back, and they just do this really evil thing where he's like, hey, pick between your kids or whatever. And then when he won't pick between his kids, they send people to attack an old man, an old professional wrestler nonetheless, and one of my all-time favorites and one of the all-time best, don't get me wrong, but an almost 70-year-old man.
Yeah.
Where does that come from? Where does the motivation from doing that? Because I don't understand. How is that what's best for business if that's what you're establishing as character motivation?
Right.
So this is like another one of those things I'm just trying to work through in my head where, like, if the answer isn't these are purely evil people, but they're bad guys, they're heels, they're evil, they do messed up things. If there's like supposed to be these shades of gray in characters where they're supposed to have some kind of legitimate motivation for the things they do, whether or not you agree with them, then what is the motivation for this? Like, I don't understand. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it. I don't know, but I don't understand what the point or the logic or the motivation is here.
Right. Yeah, I'm just as confused. Like, if you don't agree with what they're saying, they're just gonna be like, oh, well, we're just gonna kick your ass. So it's like, well, what's the point? You know, they're running a dictatorship or something. But so,
I mean, historically there's been the answer that these are bad people and they do bad things.
Mm-hmm.
But now feels like they want to shades of gray everything.
Yeah,
like they don't want to say these guys are good guys, and they always try to do their best.
What's best for business.
And they always try to do what's right, and they always try to fight for, the good things. And these people are the bad, and they just, some do bad things because they're bad people. I don't know. Like, I think like if you overcomplicate that, you get some weird mishmash like this where there is not necessarily a motivation other than they're bad, but if that's your motivation, then you can't try to give them any kind of, at least not to my satisfaction, any real motivation. I don't know.
Yeah. It's just great. I don't know what they're doing, but
I don't want to I'm not necessarily saying it's bad.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying that I don't understand it necessarily, and I don't know what they're trying to accomplish.
Right.
Where's
this going?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I understand they're there to be the big bads that are incredibly oppressive, and then
how are they going to be defeated?
And they're going to be overcome by Bryan in the end. It's supposed to make him
uber face,
even more popular. But
you can never defeat
I don't know.
Triple H.
I don't know. I just feel weird about it. I don't know.
He'll be the pick for Vince McMahon for WrestleMania to go up against Triple H.
And they apparently want to go with Big Dust, Gold Dust, and Cody versus the Shield.
Yeah, that is the rumor going around right now, to have the Rhodes family facing the Shield at Battleground, the next pay-per-view. So who knows where that will lead. But like we said, that's just a rumor at the moment, so you can't always believe that. But yeah, so basically, Dusty Rhodes is asking to get his family back, to give Cody the job back, and she says, well, if you're not going to make the decision on if you want to give Goldust or Cody their jobs, then we're just going to have to kick your ass. Do you want the Shield to do it, or you want Big Show to do it? And so she said, okay, well, you can't make your decision there, so I'm going to make the Big Show do it. And Big Show doesn't want to do it. He's all sad, gives him a hug, whispers something into his ear, saying, I'm sorry.
I like that part, though, when he punched him, then kind of held him like a...
Yeah, he helped them down, so it shows that, Big Show still has that compassion, and, he didn't want to do it, but, it's just like, yeah, well, maybe not to that degree, but, I
think more practically it shows that Dusty shouldn't be bumping, and they weren't going to let him.
Yeah. So, who knows? Maybe in his ear he said, just go with it, just lay down, But who knows?
Big hands.
But that takes us into the next matchup: Brie Bella and the Funkadactyls, who apparently BFFs now. They're teaming together. I don't know. I didn't get to see it. Going up against Alicia Fox, Layla, and Oksana. It's the Total Divas versus the other Divas.
That's why.
Yeah, pretty much. So I heard this was a very quick matchup. Natalya was on commentary and apparently having some issues. But Brie Bella and the Funkadactyls end up getting the victory. Anything to take away from it? Nope. Okay. Next up, we got to see RVD going up against Damien Sandow. Heard this one again was a pretty quick matchup. Again, Damien Sandow, winner of Money in the Bank, is made to be the loser. So I guess it's gonna push forward towards RVD versus Alberto Del Rio once again. I feel like all it's going to do is end up leading into RVD winning the title and having Damien Sandow cash in on him, only to become transitional champion or something, Because I don't feel like Damien Sandow's ready. I don't feel it.
I don't think that he is either. Although they like
Ready or
to,
not.
they seem to like to come out of nowhere with that.
Yeah. Maybe he'll be since he's the intellectual savior, he's the smart guy, maybe he'll be the one. He'll be the first person to cash in the night of WrestleMania and make his WrestleMania moment. Who knows? We'll see. But next up, we got to see The Miz, who's in his hometown of Columbus, Ohio, going up against Randy Orton. Before the matchup began, Miz went out and hugged his parents and yay, happy time feelings. And Randy Orton attacked him, The match ended up being a double count out. Orton was attacking The Miz some more, and ended up attacking him in front of his parents. And I saw the picture.
His dad was completely emotional.
Yeah, his dad could have been at a bar or something. He would be like, I'd rather be out fishing or something.
His mom was crying and stuff, and she played it well, but
yeah. Although it could have been actual emotion because moms are like that.
Yeah.
No matter what, they don't want to see their babies get hurt. So and dad was just like, whatever, man.
He wasn't even so much as taking it as a joke. He was just like kind of blank faced.
Yeah, just I could be somewhere else right now, but I'm here.
And it wasn't like it was happening and they were cutting it to him. It was happening as far away from him as I am to you right now.
Yeah.
Maybe even closer.
Yeah. It's like, this is your son. Show some sort of emotion. He's like, no, whatever. Oh, well. So, next up we got to see Paul Heyman come out thanking Ryback for his help, bashing the fans for the life that they live for booing him. And
Axel with him?
Yes, and then no.
Yes,
and then he left or something.
Maybe
like that.
I don't remember. I thought he wasn't.
That's how relevant he is. You don't know if he was there or not. Basically gloating that he beat CM Punk, thanked Ryback for his help, gave him a kiss on the cheek, and
yeah. Can I add that I saw people acting completely inappropriately on my Facebook feed about the kiss? You're just terrible people. I don't. That's not like a reason to be like what weird or think someone's bad because a dude kissed another dude on the cheek.
Mm-hmm.
It's makes me think less of you. Let me say that.
So needless to say, he's probably not going to show up on your news feed much longer.
Like, I don't want to put anybody on Front Street. I'm just going to say
We don't have to say names or anything like that.
Yeah, just like people.
There are people out there who made some comments that
Yeah.
you felt inappropriate.
Yeah, I mean, not even like, and not all of them were even like over the top. They were just kind of like, "What the fuck is that?" Like, and it's just kind of, I don't know. It just puts me off from people. I don't know.
Well, I didn't see it, so I can't, base my opinion on it. But from what I understand, it wasn't even that big of a deal. It was just sort of a, hey, thanks, mwah.
Totally wasn't a big deal.
Like, you saved my ass. My very large ass. You saved it.
Yeah, people were acting like it was a thing.
Like, I'm going to pull you in close and say, I love you. No, it's not that.
Even if he had, it wouldn't be the cause for people to react the way they did.
Right? So, So next up, we got to see a triple threat tag team elimination match between the Real Americans, the Usos, and Tons of Funk to become #1 contenders. Usos ended up pulling out the victory on that one, so it looks like we're going to see the Usos going up against the Shield again in the near future. I found
weird. Like, I don't understand. Like
we went Usos, primetime players, Usos.
I mean, I get because they're baby faces, but I don't understand why didn't they just have the Usos win the turmoil and take another shot? Like, why would they like mix it up? I don't know. I guess that's fine. So
maybe they're kind of just testing the waters, seeing who the fans are going behind.
Fans really seem to. I don't know. You know what? I think the fans seem to love the Usos and love the primetime players.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with both.
Yeah. And they seem contempt with Tons of Funk. They haven't, really been in the spotlight too much lately, but they're still there and they get a reaction from the crowd.
Yeah, they're clearly leaning with either the Usos or the primetime players.
Yeah. I would probably go primetime players.
Yeah, I'd be fine with either.
There you go.
The crowd, where they were, I guess they were in Cleveland. They loved them. I mean,
yeah, big pops for them. So that takes us into the main event of the evening: Roman Reigns going up against Daniel Bryan, and that's really saying something for them to give Roman Reigns the singles match. It shows how far he's really come in the last year. I felt like he's really made some good improvements. Whenever he first started, it was like, oh, they're putting him with Rollins so he can, sort of find his rhythm and all that. And I felt like he's been doing that. He's stepping up when he's up to bat.
Leaky.
And yeah, Leaky, or is it Liaki or something like that? Was that it?
Leaky?
Okay, but I felt like he's done pretty well for himself. And from what I hear, the matchup was a pretty good matchup as well.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good match. Goddamn, Seth Rollins is the right amount of Dolph Ziggler. I mean, he bumps big when it counts, and that's it.
You think he might actually be dead?
Yeah. But you're not concerned if he does it every time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he wasn't in the match. He was just involved in, like, peripherally from being outside. But yeah, it was a good match. I think he was fine. Roman Reigns, that is. But there's no real like risk when you put him in there with Bryan. I mean, Bryan's gonna make as good of a match happen as he can have with anybody.
Stay with me, kid. I'm gonna take you places.
Yeah. So.
Pretty good stuff.
The
match ended in a no contest or a disqualification after Randy Orton and the Shield decided to attack Daniel Bryan. You know, it looks like shades of the past few weeks that we've seen where Daniel Bryan is just getting his ass handed to him. But lo and behold, the locker room decides to come and make the save.
Shit, next week, consequences for everybody.
You think? You think there's going to be consequences?
Yeah.
How about you, Doug?
Well, I think if you are going to logically follow the story that they've been telling, there would have to be.
Yeah.
He got a lot of big ups on the way to the ring as well from people that were like, "Hey, go get him, Tiger."
Yeah. Even a hug from Brie Bella, whoever that is, to Daniel Bryan. I don't know, because we're in Earth 1, right? This is Earth 1? Or are we seeing a merger now?
A lot of weird things are happening, man.
That's what's confusing you.
This is gonna create Super Earth, is what it is. Mega Earth or something.
This is Crisis on Infinite Earth.
Shit. That's what... Galactus is going into the ultimate universe.
Collide. Are you ready to move? Oh. Anyway, so yeah, the locker room fends off the Shield and Randy Orton, leading the crowd in giant yeses, hoisting Daniel Bryan onto their shoulders, saying, "This is our representative. We are behind this man. Go us."
He hits the big Kanishni on Rollins during the night.
Yeah.
What's up, Eric? Hashtag Kanishni.
Yes, there you go. Very nice. Did you see the comments that Eric posted whenever he posted the podcast on his page with John?
Maybe refresh me.
He said, John from Nightmare Pro Wrestling said, "I'm glad that now I know how to pronounce your last name." After I butchered it 7 or 8 times. So yeah, so there you go. That's how you close out Raw. Not too bad. Had some ups, had some downs. But now we go into Earth 2.
And now, Total Divas with Doug and Tyler. Mostly Doug.
No wonder people call you fat on Twitter.
Shut up! I have to say, I feel like a real diva.
You are a grown-ass woman.
Hey. Hi, guys.
Hi.
This is our Total Divas segment. Welcome.
Mid-season finale.
Yeah, we're going till November. Is it coming back in November?
Yes.
Going till November. Cue the Wyclef Jean in the background. It's November, right? Going till November?
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks. Yes, I'll be here all week. Actually, I'll be here next week.
Did it feel like these storylines for this episode were kind of like fused together? Sort of like, almost like the Las Vegas thing?
Well, yeah. It mostly centered around the wedding of Natty and TJ. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, they did. Before we get into the wedding, they had, they focused a little bit on Eva Marie and JoJo. And, because, Nikki, which Bill is hurt? Nikki's hurt, so they have a spot up, and the people in the back picked Eva Marie.
Right.
And
JoJo did not show enough enthusiasm and happiness for her, I guess.
She was acting like, in this episode, she really acted her age. I'm just saying.
What do you mean?
She just like, she was kind of acting bratty because, I know you're bummed that you didn't get it, but she was acting like a little kid, you know, because I didn't feel like Eva Marie
How
was
was she-
taunting her.
Well, I don't think she was taunting her, but did she have to? I'm going to play devil's advocate here. Did she
Okay.
have? Does she have to like mark out for her? Does she have to freak out?
No, you don't.
Was
but,
she impolite?
At one point she was like,
After I'm playing devil's advocate. After Eva Marie attacked her, and it was very confrontational about her lack of enthusiasm.
okay, that's true. But there was that before or after?
Doug won, Tyler.
Whatever. I'm kind of getting, I guess, mixed up of which time periods when they
Which
said
Earth
stuff.
we're on.
No, when they said stuff to each other, because I guess that was before when they had that talk and it was like, I thought we were friends and all that stuff. And
That was after it was settled that Eva Marie was gonna get the shot.
okay.
They were together. Like Eva Marie was like very, like when they said, "Hey girls, we're gonna be looking to bring someone up." Eva Marie was like, "Me, I'm ready. I can do it. Like, let's do this. So when do I come or whatever?" And then JoJo was also like, "Oh, hey, you know, I like to get a shot too." You know, and then
Well, what was that time where when they came up, it's like, oh, it's your shot, and she was like, really, like what about?
was it in like a? Was it in like a interview style cutaway or on the actual like when they're in the same thing? You know, like
They were in the back. They're backstage.
let's call it an
Yes.
office segment. You know how on The Office, whenever they're just interviewing them in the room,
Talking head.
Yeah.
yeah, talking head. Is that what you call it?
That's
No,
what they
it
call
wasn't. It wasn't that. It was when Eva, JoJo, Natty.
More songs about buildings and food.
What?
Talking heads.
Oh, I don't know that song from the Talking
You
Heads.
know,
Oh, okay. But threw me off. I don't know what I was gonna say after that.
Psycho Killer. No, yeah. So there was that shit.
So they're
John.
pretty much split.
Yeah, they decided that because they live together, they train together, they travel together, and now they're at each other's throats over the spot that they don't really want to be so connected at the hip anymore. Tyler made his point for why Eva Marie is right. I made an argument for how JoJo could be right. So let us know who was right.
Mm-hmm.
Wait and let us know. I don't know. You don't care? Fine, don't care. So John's family is having this big get together because he's finally getting some time off. He's off the road because he's injured. Or no, it's not because he was injured. They haven't done the injury thing yet. They are showing the injury as like post mid-season finale. The injury stuff's coming in the next.
At the beginning of.
Whatever reason, he has a day off, and his family's getting together, and he wants Nikki to be there. Which she is ecstatic about. The only problem is it is the same day as Natty and TJ's wedding, and apparently Nikki and Natty are good friends, and so this is a thing. She tells Natty, who's like kind of freaks out about it, but in that like Natty, like I'm the uber like professional and I'm uber proper way. Like she freaks out in that.
Oh, sure, that's fine. What is she thinking?
Yeah.
Just freaked out about a lot of stuff.
Yeah. She was not holding it together.
Yeah.
Which I get, like, hey, if it's like, if you guys are really good friends, then hey, I get that.
She
you'd be upset
eventually
about it.
accepted that, you know, Nikki wasn't there and all that stuff. But
What would you do if one of your really good friends is getting married and it's their wedding and well, not your hypothetical. I guess Daryl has this like family thing that is a rare occurrence and supposedly a special thing for her family. Which do you do? But putting you on blast right now.
Shit, dude, you gotta give me time to think. I don't know.
No, fucking do it. John Cena did not give Nikki any time to think. He just came in all Daddy Cena like.
Did have time to think. She did have time.
Hashtag Dad Cena.
She
No,
did have time to think.
no, he
They
said
took it out in editing.
he.
That's not the thing.
No.
Yes.
Or was it one take?
It was one take.
You don't.
Dad Cena came strolling in. He said, "Hey, I understand if you got to go to the wedding,
I tried, Tyler.
but it would mean a lot for you to accompany me." So which would you do?
What?
Fudgesicles.
What did I do?
Okay,
Remember
I
that
guess
show?
I would do the same thing as Nikki.
Oh, some real insight into your personality.
It's going to let me know that I'm going to have to plan according to Daryl's schedule as to when I'm having my wedding.
You're fucking shit, right?
Thanks, Tyler.
Suck it up and have your fucking family.
Be a
dinner
man,
tomorrow.
Hogan!
Motherfucker, you wouldn't do that for Kelsey.
I would just like to say for the record that if you missed my wedding because you had to go to a family dinner for Daryl, I would be fucking pissed off.
Well, I wouldn't
And I would
because
also-
I met her family, so I wouldn't do that. So
And also, I'd have to hear from Daryl that she's not going to my wedding because she would be invited as well.
I met her family, so that shit wouldn't happen. So
Well, be a man, Hogan.
kick
I
you in
hope
the
it's
dick.
okay if I take your line, Doug. Be a
Yeah,
man,
Kick
Hogan.
you in the dick.
You
You ain't kicking nobody.
Come here. Turn around.
So please, Doug, continue the what happened.
I will go right along ahead.
Mhm.
So the other thing is that Jared, the guy who's been texting and emailing and calling Natty, who still has feelings for her, she invited him to the wedding. He shows up to the wedding. Oh, can I say before that off camera and really rushed in just in time for a mid-season finale, Ariana and Vincent get back together like that. They're off screen and they don't even show it happen. They're just like, "Oh, hey,
So
boo."
we got back together.
We were
No,
back
they
together.
did show the part like when they did get back together. Like, oh,
They showed it like in video montage, like
Yeah.
a 10-second video montage. Just like, oh, whenever she was really messed up and her stomach was hurt or whatever. Or is that this episode, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, whatever. Like,
I need a montage.
fuck. Do we miss the Ariana Trinity stuff? Is that the stomach
No,
ache?
this is the same episode.
Oh.
Everyone had their own stuff in this episode.
Yeah, she had some crazy thing happen to her, and she was in a lot of pain, and
It was
Trinity had to
Too
run.
many exposed cookies.
No, something about her menstrual cycle.
Something
Too many
legit.
Exposed cookies.
Something
It's
legit.
endometriosis. That's what it was.
What he said.
I know a lot about
Menstrual cycle stuff.
uteruses and
The JJ.
yeah, those kind of
Infected
things.
vaginas.
That's right. I know what endometriosis is. It's a real thing. It's a serious thing.
Sounds like it.
It's not fun. I'll tell you
Anytime
that.
it has osis at the end.
Yeah. Let's not make light of endometriosis.
Okay. Be
So
a man.
she realized because Vincent came and visited her because he heard the grapevine, probably Trinity. What a good friend. Probably called him and said, "Hey, yo, what's up?" And so he came and brought her flowers. He's like, "Hey, boo, I'm here for you no matter what. Even when we're not together, I still care about you." And she was like, "You know what? I'm gonna stop being so bratty and act like you annoy me all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Because you're such a good dude." He was like, "Yo, that's cool."
Natty
And,
even said
Yeah.
at the end of the episode that she feels like Vincent is part of the WWE family with them.
Yeah,
Aw.
after she was kind of totally bitchy about it.
Yeah, she's
though.
like, oh, I don't feel like dealing with him and her and them
Yeah.
together and blah, blah, blah.
she was
I'm
not
a
holding it
bitch.
together. She was like not like
She's stressed. It's a wedding.
Yeah.
she wasn't like Bridezilla, but she was like not holding it
They had to
together.
dress the cat up.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
That cat's fucking ugly. I'm a cat guy. Like I like cats, and that
Cat
cat's
man.
fucking ugly.
Is it like the grumpy cat?
No, it was as ugly, but like more fur. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're spending a lot of time on this, aren't we?
I gotta say they invited a lot of people to the wedding, and they had some random moments of Damien Sandow getting up and just like
he was like MCing the whole thing.
Yeah.
Nice.
Can we talk about random in the crowd appearances at the wedding?
Please
I saw
do.
Hornswoggle.
yeah, Hornswoggle,
I saw
Trent Beretta.
I saw Trent Beretta, who's been released for a while now. I saw
Was it Hawkins there? Chris?
Hawkins was in the back. I saw him too. Did I say Hornswoggle?
Yeah.
I don't know. Just weird randoms that were there. It was cool. Anyway, so Jared shows up and he's like, "Hey, TJ, congratulations because Natty is so great. You are just the luckiest guy because Natty is the
Pats
best."
him on the arm.
He says that in front of he sits down really brazzing like in front of all
everyone
everyone.
gives him like what the fuck face,
you
and they're like, "Are you really talking right
They're
now?"
like, A, what are you doing here? They're like, B, who the fuck says that to someone? And they're like, C, you're a total douchebag. And TJ was like, hey man, can I talk to you outside? Like a
Then
nice
he goes,
respectable
damn.
dude. And he's like, hey, so what's your fucking problem? What's the shit with this? And he was like, oh, hey, it's no big deal. I just thought you knew that we were talking all the time, emailing and texting and calling. And he mentions in front of all the guests that are there with TJ at the moment that he's like, yeah, you guys were having rocky times, and like so now that you guys are like on the up and up, and it was just a weird thing. And TJ was like, what the fuck?
He wants to go talk to Natty,
who's pissed because he sees her in the dress, and he's like, no,
I'm pissed.
No, motherfucker, we've got legit issues. And can I just say that, like, I just made eye contact with Daniel right now, and he's like waiting on bated breath for the story that we're telling. He acts like he doesn't give a fuck about this shit, but he was like hanging on every word we were saying. His eyes were big and his mouth was agape, and he was like, "Ooh, what happens next?"
No, because I was gonna say, and then he starts walking to Natty, and then we get end credits.
No.
Make you tune in to the next episode.
Say we have 4 minutes left in the episode, and this is the big end. Like TJ's gonna talk to her about Jared being there. He's like, should we even fucking be getting married? And she's like, oh, we had dinner, and I told him that you're the only one for me, and blah, blah, whatever. And he's like, oh, okay, whatevs. Let's get married then. No drama. Within 4 minutes, they go to the finish.
They're going to
It's like big high spot at the end, go right to the finish. They're married happily ever after.
What happened? Also, everyone is waiting for them to come out, and they're having this drama. And then, like, was it Adrian? What's her name?
Wait, so he saw her in her dress before the wedding?
He did.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
bad luck.
everyone, because they go to when they're talking, the selfies or whatever, and they're talking about
Selfie.
and they're like, oh, they're gonna get married, and like the camera pans to back there, like, oh no, and then they goes back to them talking and all that stuff.
I have
and then
no earthly idea what you're talking about, and I watched it. Selfies?
the selfies. What was that part?
Talking heads.
Talking heads.
Oh, okay. Psycho killer.
No, I'm just saying that people were waiting for them to come out. They're like, oh, is this gonna happen?
Better.
Run away. Ooh.
Yes.
By the way, I got a comment from my girlfriend's brother-in-law saying, thank you for having Total Divas now on my DVR, because apparently my girlfriend watched it, told her sister about it, and she programmed the DVR. And I said, I credited you guys because you guys have done an amazing job at getting people to tune in and watch this show. I just wanted to give y'all some credit.
Thank you.
Give y'all
Thank
some
you.
props.
Also, the show's not over because the last thing happens is Nikki's talking to John about like what they're gonna do next in their relationship.
Oh yeah, they kind of show her at the thing.
And
Also, Natalia's mom made her an ugly dress that she hated, but was very polite about it.
She ripped Rose off.
Yeah, whatever. Okay.
But you didn't know what was gonna happen. Like, oh no, they're gonna break up. But
If
no.
your mom, can I say this? Can I ask you another question? If your mom made you like a wedding tux and you hated it, would you be like, would you just suck it up and wear it, or
No.
would you? No. Okay.
Like, I'm not wearing this shit, Mom.
Mom, could be.
Get out of here.
All right, go ahead. Tell whatever fucking story you're gonna.
But John was like, I don't see you that much. I want you to move in with me. And she was like, she's like, I don't really move in with a guy unless I would be engaged, but rules are made to be broken. So yeah, I will move in with you. Then they show a preview for the next episode for the next half of the season or whatever.
Part 2 of season 1.
John gives her a contract to sign. When she moves in, she has to sign all this stuff. And John was like, it's like, I don't know.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I don't remember that. I saw this.
And he was like, I don't know
Like
if
a
you're
prenup?
gonna be
Looks like you
it's
have
a
to.
contract. And
It's like you've got some rewatching to do.
She's crying later on.
Maybe it's like some weird prenuptial agreement for a common law marriage.
He's like, you never know. It's like, you may be crazy and I don't even know it. It's like, I'm not saying you're crazy, but that's what he said that.
But But why would she have to sign a contract?
I don't know.
Maybe it's like a weird prenuptial agreement to common law marriage. Like, because if she moves in, then she can get halfsies on everything, right? Is that how common law marriages work?
I've been fucked before, so I don't want to do this again.
Okay. No one's trying to fuck you. It's okay.
Yeah, you're okay in this room there, man. You're all right.
You're a good looking man, but I'm not taking it there.
Not keeping it in the family. So anything else to add?
They had like a little post. You know how on most reality shows are like
Reunion special?
Yeah, they had one of those.
I didn't get to watch it.
I fell asleep halfway in. I've been up all day. Yeah.
Just watch Raw. You'll see what happens.
No, you won't.
Oh yeah, that's Earth 2. Sorry, Earth 2 and Earth 1. Right. Oh my God, I'm referring to the show.
So so we realized we spent way longer on Total Divas than probably the rest of the show.
But that's what people tune in to hear. They want to hear you guys
Really?
talk about Total Divas. Yeah.
I don't know.
They
that
want to.
I don't know
hear-
that I would.
They
I
want to
wanna-
hear Tug say that. Hey, Daniel is really liking what we're saying.
I'd like to see like a bar graph.
You try to play it off really quick, but I swear the look on your face was like.
I was waiting to say that one line where I was like, cut to credits. You'll have to tune in to see what happens. But no.
Oh, they wrapped it up. They went to the finish.
Oh. They didn't leave you on a cliffhanger?
That's what I was gonna say. They should have cliffhangered there.
That's-
Will they get married? Come back in November.
Yeah, make you wait all those months just for him to be like, all right, let's do it.
One little tiny thing that I thought was funny at the end of the wedding, and everyone's dancing, whatever, and then TJ like turns Natty around and pretends to kick her. You remember seeing that part?
No, I remember him saying, "Hey," they were both like, "Neither one of us can dance." He's like, "I have a hurt knee. That's my excuse or whatever." I don't remember the kick thing.
Apparently, he's watching a different show than you because that's 3 topics that he said that you're like, what are you talking about?
Maybe he was like more. It was a long day. I've been
Maybe
out.
he was like really focused on this show.
Yeah, I was out late the
Plus,
night
it was
before.
recently because I watched it before the show.
Well, see, I haven't seen it since like Sunday night after a very long day.
Well, there you go. Yeah, because you got the replay after Night of Champions.
Yeah, I started watching at like 11.
I got it on demand.
Ooh.
Fresh in your mind. Yeah, so Total Divas with Tyler and Dog is on hiatus until November.
Oh,
Damn it.
Yeah.
so be on the lookout for more. There you go. Now it's time to go into some hot topics for you guys. In case you didn't hear, JR, good old Jim Ross, has officially retired from the WWE, wanting to take his business elsewhere, the next chapter in his life. So best of luck to you, JR. I haven't tried your barbecue sauce yet, but I'd like to.
Yeah, me too.
You know, we do have some TNA news. Yeah, we actually do cover TNA from time to time. TNA
He's not covering TNA.
Oh, it's relaying some news that we've heard through the grapevine. TNA is considering taking the show off the road early next year and taking it to Nashville as their new
Going back to the asylum?
I think so. Who knows? But that's just the word going out around right now. It was earlier reported that they were thinking about Las Vegas, but they decided not to.
Costs a lot of money to tour.
Yeah, it does, and especially with the lack of fans showing up that they've seen. Because I've seen a few pictures that have been coming out, and it's not looking good. So they need to have one center spot for those diehard fans to go and check out. So yeah. Other news: Mickie James has reportedly rejected a TNA contract extension. So it kind of makes you wonder: could we see her back in WWE, or is she more focusing on her music career now?
No telling.
God, let's hope for the WWE.
Yeah. She's gone country.
Yeah, hardcore country. So so there you go. The other bit of news involving Hulk Hogan involved in a boat injury again. This time I forgot what it was.
Do you remember the nasty ass hand injury?
Yeah,
Stay the fuck out of boats, dumbass.
Yeah, this is the second time that
Hulk
it's
Hogan
happened.
versus
It didn't
a
happen to
boat.
his hand, but I think they said the windshield exploded or something on him.
Randomly.
And so apparently he was just like covered in blood, and he posted like a tweet saying,
Wait.
"Why does this happen to me? This is the second time
Now
it's
we know
happened."
that Hulk Hogan versus boat's always going to win.
Boat's going over. There you go. Eventually, what was it? Tropic? Oh no, not wasn't Tropic Thunder, but what was the show?
What?
Oh Thunder
in Paradise.
Thunder in Paradise. That boat's coming to get him. So there you go. Time to go into the Q&A portion of the show. Your questions, our answers. Only question coming to us this week from Jonathan Red Robin.
Yum.
Saying, hey guys, I asked this a few weeks ago, but never got an answer. I was curious to who.
Way to drop the ball,
Oh,
Daniel.
Well, sorry. Damn. Just
Well,
jump on my ass.
As long as you apologize.
There's 3 people involved in this podcast.
Yeah, but whenever we type up the notes, you like redo it so we don't bother.
Not last week.
Oh, I don't believe that.
I didn't type it. So there you go. Anyways, Red Robin's curious as to what our favorite X-Man character is, since Doug said he liked the other X-themed book. Mine is Magic. If you don't know who that is, I'm sure Doug knows. Thanks, and have another great show.
Yes, Magic is Ilyana Rasputin, Colossus' sister. Yeah, she is cool, actually. I do like Magic. I would probably go. I'm a Jamie Madrox guy. I like Multiple Man. I'm all about it.
Okay.
And I like Madrox. Is that Noah?
We had some comments from Noah involving on Facebook.
Noah and Red Robin.
Noah's chatting up.
They're friends.
That's so not cool.
This is our own Crisis on Infinite Earths, like highlighting.
Noah said, "I know who Magic is. I think she's on the wrong team, though. She should be with Wolverine and the young First Class X-Men." Then he went on to say, "Well, of course, anybody who reads anything since X-Men, Avengers versus X-Men knows who she is, though. I find her character entertaining." So there you go. So that was Noah. So Tyler, who's your favorite X-Man?
I don't know where these days Iceman is or what he's up to. I know about the new class or the younger class that got brought into the universe now, but I don't know where the old Iceman is. But I liked Iceman, and I also always liked Colossus, but I think I liked him when he turned in. Well, I know he was a dick when he was part of the Phoenix Five, but I did kind of like the Juggernaut Colossus too. So.
Also, he always cheated on Kitty Pryde. Come on.
I didn't get to follow X-Men that much. Like, I know the basic, like the ones who were in the 90s cartoon.
I like Kitty Pryde a lot.
Those are the ones that I know. So Gambit and Wolverine are my two. Or Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler was also one of my favorites.
Nightcrawler is awesome, too.
I saw some on a website of the 10 lamest villains. No. 10 lamest heroes. I don't know if it was just Marvel or DC Universe or whatever. But, like, I don't know who put this on, but, like, the number one was an X-Men. X-Men was, his name was Maggot. And I don't know how Powers was, but I think he shot parts of his body off. But it was, like, maggots or whatever. Like, big, weird maggots. I don't know.
How lovely.
Yeah, it was lame.
Oh, there you go. So thanks for the questions. We certainly do, or question. We certainly do appreciate it. Noah also commented again. Mind you, I don't fully know what's going on with her character right now because I'm 2 or 3 issues behind with my X-Men comics. So thanks, Noah.
Let us know if you want Noah back on the cast.
And remember to follow Noah on Twitter at MFButthole.
He only has 1 follower. That's sad.
Also, friend Noah on Facebook and tell him that the podcast sent you.
There you go. Submit your questions on our Facebook
he has
page.
3 followers, actually.
3 followers. All right.
And if you like comic books, if you want to talk anything
Jamie
comic
Caldwell
books with
and
him,
Rhino.
Nice.
he's the comic book man. So
Did Rhino get married?
I think he's engaged.
Rhino, did you?
And
get
that's true. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Rhino.
Yeah, let us know, Rhino.
Yeah, definitely. So submit your questions on our Facebook page, WNS Podcast, our YouTube page, WNS Video. You can also check us out on WrestlingNewsSource.com, WrestlingNewsSource.com on Facebook, and you can subscribe to us on iTunes by searching Wrestling News Source Podcast. Although we do apologize for the delay. We think it's something wrong with iTunes servers because they've been giving us issues here the past few months where they won't add the current episode. They'll wait like 3 or 4 weeks and then add the previous 4 all at once. So we would probably recommend just downloading the Stitcher app, which is free, and looking us up there.
I would like to figure out How we get the feedback from Stitcher?
Yeah, how does that work?
People just have to leave a comment on it.
That's it. They only comment and thumbs up. They don't like rate us or anything.
I don't think so.
If you know more about Stitcher than we do, and there is like a ranking system and a review and other than comment and thumbing up the individual episode, please let us know because we don't know.
Yeah, there you go. You can also follow us.
Yeah, good.
Go ahead.
You can follow us on Twitter at WNS Podcast, and for the main site, WN Source.
So there you go. For the podcast crew, I am Dane O'Haron.
Tyler Aber.
I am Doug.
And we'll catch you all next week.